I'm Avery Cole, 38, single mom, remote software engineer. At my brother's birthday, he grabbed my daughter Lily's hand-carved box, 4 months of tiny hands and splinters, snorted, "Cheap trash," and whipped it into her face. Blood, silence. Then my parents, Carol and Dean, smirked like it was entertainment. Something snapped in me, not just rage, grief. How long have I mistaken cruelty for family? If that were your child, would you swallow it or burn the bridge? Tell me in the comments. Hit subscribe if your chest just dropped. I stared Jack down and said, "From today on, you're cut off." He sneered, "You won't." I smiled, "Watch me." When I pulled the plug, every mask fell. His ego, their lies, and so did his little kingdom. This wasn't about revenge. It was the breaking point of a long family drama, and my exit from it. I'm Avery Cole, single mom, remote software engineer, clocking in code commits between school pickups and dentist appointments. I was finally stable after a brutal divorce. Steady paycheck, quiet house. My daughter Lily humming while she carved little wooden flowers at the kitchen table. And then my brother Jack showed up with a glossy folder and a grin that said, "Miracle." His words, not mine. "This is it, Ave. I finally figured it out." Inside that folder, a color-perfect road to success, a pottery studio in the heart of a tourist strip, hand-thrown mugs, custom planters, classes, bridal events, craft fairs, projected margins at 30%, break-even at 18 months. He'd even mocked up a logo. He tapped the page. "All I need is a push. 70,000. The BMW's the collateral. I'll make you proud." I remember staring at the numbers while Lily etched a tiny saguaro onto a scrap panel. I heard her whisper to herself, "Smooth line, smooth breath." My breath wasn't smooth. My head was logging error messages. He'd floated through warehouse jobs, food truck fantasies, a vape cart idea, and a half-baked reselling scheme. My parents, Carol and Dean, sat on the couch nodding like cheerleaders who never buy tickets. "Family helps family," my mom crooned. My dad coughed and said, "It's your turn to step up." I wanted to believe. God, I wanted to believe. Maybe this was the turn. Maybe he'd finally become the hero he kept describing in his own stories. We met with an attorney to keep it clean. 5.5% interest, $1,1400 principal monthly, 5-year schedule, full title on Jack's 2019 BMW as collateral. "This is grown-up stuff," I told him outside the office, just to be sure. He smirked, kissed the contract, and said, "You'll get your precious money, boss lady." Shock line number 1. Boss lady, like I was a bank with lipstick. 6 months rolled and, credit where it's due, the payments landed right on time. Every first of the month, my inbox chimed, and I felt my shoulders drop. Jack texted me kiln pictures at midnight, sweaty and proud, clay in his nail beds, stories of tourists fighting over Desert Dawn glaze bowls. Lily would peek at my phone and smile. Uncle Jack really did it. I wanted to say, "Let's wet," but I let her keep the glow. Then came the 7th month. No payment. Radio silence. I pinged, "Everything okay?" He hit me back with, "Supply chain's a nightmare. Clay doubled. Just 1 month." The month stretched into 2, then 3. I drove by the shop at 2 p.m. on a Saturday. Lights off, dust on the display, a handwritten sign, back in 10, curling at the corners. I called. He answered from a bar. I could hear laughter and somebody yelling, "Tequila!" He slurred, "Mark it slow, sis. It's art. You can't rush art." Meanwhile, my bank account still bled $1,300 every month for Carol and Dean's rent, plus utilities when they forgot. I was paying for the family show like always, and they still had notes. "You're late on the Wi-Fi. It was buffering." I'm not kidding, that's an actual text from my mother. It buffered. At work, during a pair programming session, my friend Casey glanced at the screen when a transfer alert flashed. She didn't sugarcoat. "Avery, you're bankrolling a grown man's hobby and 2 adults who don't pay their own bills." I laughed it off. It's temporary. She raised an eyebrow. Quiet judgment stings more than yelling, you know? But I kept the autopays running. I told myself, he'll catch up. I'm not heartless. This is what families do. That lie, this is what families do, is how you drown with a smile. I didn't realize I was teaching everyone how to treat me, as the human ATM with a polite voice. When you pay quietly, people learn to ask loudly. And then came the birthday. Jack's backyard, chili lights strung like a Pinterest board. I brought Lily because she spent 4 months hand-carving a gift for him, a small wooden box with a velvet lining for his watch. She saved her own money for the brass hinges. She stepped up to him, tiny hands trembling, and said, "Happy birthday, Uncle Jack." He took it, flipped the lid open, looked inside, and sneered. "Cheap trash," he said, and he threw it. Not away, at her face. It hit her cheek with a crack. She stumbled. The hinge tore the skin, and my parents, Carol and Dean, smirked like they were watching reality TV. A cousin laughed. Someone actually filmed. Something ripped inside me. Rage, yes. But underneath it, grief. Because in that second, I saw the truth. I had been buying my seat at a table that never wanted me. The family script wasn't love. It was leverage. And when Lily bled, the script ended. Now let me ask you, if that were your kid and your own brother did that, what would you do? Would you swallow it to keep the peace? Or would you finally flip the switch? Drop a comment. And if your chest is tight hearing this, hit like so more people hear it. Because this is where the story stops being polite. This is where the bank closes. The drive home from that party felt like crossing a border in my own life. Lily pressed a tissue to her cheek, silent. The wood box, splintered, sat in her lap like a small funeral. I pulled into our driveway, killed the engine, looked at the porch light, and realized I was done paying for my own humiliation. I opened my banking app. My finger hovered over autopay, Carol and Dean, rent. My thumb trembled. You know that moment right before you jump in cold water? That was me. Then I hit disable. The chime of confirmation sounded like a door locking. I screenshotted the stopped payment. I sent 2 images into the family group chat. One of Jack's BMW angled on the lawn, and one of the canceled autopay. My message was 10 words. From today on, you're on your own. Everything stops. Within seconds, phones buzzed across that backyard. I didn't wait for replies. Next morning, I called Lane, the attorney who drew up the loan. "He's in default," I said. "Proceed." Lane was calm, like he'd been waiting for me to say it. The official notice went out that afternoon. 30-day cure, already half spent. We set the dominoes, repo order queued, auction prepped, reserve none. This is grown up, yes. It's also survival. At 9:45 a.m., the repo company sent me a live link. I watched from my kitchen island, coffee in hand. Jack came stumbling out of his dead shop as the flatbed backed up. "You can't take my car, he yelled. The driver stayed cool. Hook, tilt, lift. The BMW floated like a toy. Jack slapped the side of the truck, voice cracking. "Avery, make them stop!" I didn't answer. I didn't even breathe. I just watched the truck turn the corner and disappear. The auction hit the site that afternoon. Winning bid, $35,000. Lane moved it to trust, updated the ledger. Deficiency $45,000. Standard judgment to garnish future wages. Numbers aren't revenge, they're reality finally wearing a name tag. That evening, my phone went nuclear. 10 calls in an hour, then 20, then 30. Messages swung from fury to pathetic. "You're destroying me," Jack barked. Then softer, "I'll pay double if you restart the rent." My favorite, if we're collecting shock lines, "You owe me because you're the one with money." I blocked the number. 2 nights later, 1 a.m., pounding rattled my front door. Lily bolted upright and slipped into her closet, knees to chest. I checked the ring feed. Jack swayed under the porch light, bottle dangling. He slammed the door with his flat palm. "You ruined my life, you selfish—" He kicked the baseboard. My heart sprinted. I dialed 911. Calm voice. My brother is intoxicated and trying to break in. Sirens arrived fast. Red blue spilled across the yard. Officers pulled him off the porch and cuffed him as he thrashed. One peeked in, soft voice. You okay? I showed ID, my hands shaking. He watched the door cam footage and nodded. File a protective order in the morning. I did. 200 yards. No contact. Paper isn't a shield, but it's something you can hold up between you and the storm. Then came the petty punishments. Unknown numbers, heavy breathing voicemails, a car idling across the street. I tightened the perimeter. New smart locks, motion zones, code only Lily and I knew. She slept with her lamp on for a month, the bulb's soft hum like a night watchman. We practiced grounding. 5 things you see, 4 you feel, 3 you hear. So she could calm her nervous system when shadows moved. That's the quiet cost, by the way. The internet doesn't show the lamp that stays on. Meanwhile, Carol and Dean discovered the rent didn't pull. First came the guilt texts. Your father's insulin isn't free. Then the smear posts. Daughter turned her back on family. Pray for us. I didn't respond. HR did, though, after they showed up at my workplace gate with a cardboard sign that read, Ungrateful Daughter. Security made them step off private property. Legal sent a cease and desist. Imagine being a grown woman with your parents staged outside your job like hecklers after a high school play. You'd think I stole their pension, not pressed cancel autopay on my phone. And still, I didn't reopen the tap. Because this is the part nobody warns you about. When you stop paying, you stop belonging to people who are only there for the bill. Every boundary will be tested like a fence by a hurricane. If it holds, they move on. If it breaks, you're back to being the ATM in a wig. If you're watching this and your stomach flipped at the door-pounding part, do me a favor. Like this video so the algorithm pushes it to someone who needs it tonight. Drop a comment. What's the one boundary you wish you'd set sooner? Sharing it might save someone else a month of nightmares. I thought the worst was over. Then the real consequences started falling on their side of the field. And I learned something about masks. They don't just fall, they shatter. Ready for the fallout? Let's go there. The first week after the repo, Jack's studio tried to lurch back to life with pop-up clearance sales. Yelp caught wind of the drama, screenshots, whispers, a photo of the tow truck, and business dried like clay left in the sun. 14 days later, the landlord changed the locks. Jack posted a shaky video blaming haters. Shock line, my sister sabotaged the local art scene. I almost laughed. Art scene? He sabotaged Lily's face. Carol and Dean? Without autopay, they ran straight into reality. A red 3-day pay or quit notice taped to their door. Late fees, penalties, then court filings, then the yellow eviction sheet. They move yet to a motel off the freeway. I found out because Carol tagged my work profile on Facebook. Our daughter left us homeless. Screenshot, HR folder, cease and desist number 2. At work, I was steady. Code was clean. Deadlines hit. Still, I was the woman who had parents with poster boards at the gate. You swallow that humiliation, or you let it swallow you. Your choice. I chose to swallow it with coffee and deliver PRs on time. Casey would ping me, proud of you. 2 words, but they landed like a blanket. Nights were a different story. Lily kept her lamp on for 31 days. 31. The night she finally switched it off, she shuffled to the kitchen at 7 a.m., hair wild, and said, I think we're safe. I hugged her, long enough to feel that cry that never made it to the surface. We did 6 therapy sessions. She learned to say, that wasn't my fault, without her voice shaking. That's what healing sounds like. Quiet and stubborn. Jack drifted into gig work. He borrowed a dented Civic and stuck a delivery sticker on the windshield. He texted me from random numbers. I'm making changes, I swear. Blocked. Another night, he called from a gas station, payphone maybe, and left a voicemail that was just breathing and a whisper, you win. I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired. My parents tried round 2 at my office, waving printer paper signs this time. Security intercepted them at the corner, banned them from campus, and sent a nice laminated notice to my inbox. It's surreal when your childhood becomes a security protocol. The little girl version of me used to beg them to come to school plays. The adult version had to ask security to keep them away from my job. A month turned into 3. The motel became a rotating address list. I heard through cousins that a charity clinic saved my dad's foot. Partial toe removal, a walker. I hope he walks without pain. That can be true. At the same time, I never want to see his smirk again. 2 things can live in the same body: compassion and boundary. And then a year passed. New house, new locks. Our citrus trees held tiny green orbs that promised sweetness if you waited. Lily set up a small woodworking bench in the garage. The sound of her sander became the white noise of our evenings. She built a cedar jewelry box for her best friend, dovetailed joints, hidden compartment, and took second place at the county fair. Watching her carry that ribbon to the car felt like standing in sunlight after a long tunnel. The letter from Jack arrived in thin, apologetic handwriting, 3 pages of aching. "Sis, I was wrong. I see it now. Dad's worse. Please help." I read it at the kitchen island, the same place I'd watched his BMW get lifted into the sky. Lily poured cereal and asked, "From Uncle Jack?" I nodded. She pushed the bowl away and waited to see who I'd be next. I folded the letter back into the envelope and dropped it into the trash under the coffee grounds. That afternoon, I mailed a plain white postcard. We are no longer family. No return address, no phone number, no deal to renegotiate. I'm not saying that to be cruel. I'm saying it because my daughter needed to see what a finished boundary looks like. Not a threat, a decision. We changed our numbers. I scrubbed social. We moved our vet. The forwarding order expired. The world got silent in the best possible way. No 1 a.m. pounding, no wild group chats, no bills I didn't owe. Peace is not dramatic, it's predictable. It's breakfast without dread, a front door that doesn't make your heart stop when someone knocks, a kid who turns off her lamp because she trusts the dark again. On a hike in Sabino Canyon, with dust on our shoes and the sky turning that Arizona orange, Lily asked, "Do you miss them?" I stared at the trail, at a tiny lizard darting from shadow to shadow. "I miss who I thought they were," I said. She nodded. We kept walking. That's the whole secret. Grief for the myth, not the people who prove themselves. If you're still with me, maybe you've got your own Jack, your own Carol, your own Dean. Maybe you're the quiet bank teller in your family's drama. Hit like if something in you finally exhaled hearing this. Comment the one promise you're making to yourself, today, not someday. Share this if your friend needs permission to pick peace. Here's my last shock line, and it's the truth. Family isn't a lifetime subscription to your wallet. Blood is not an invoice. Love signs its name with actions. And the day you cancel the autopays, financial and emotional, the masks fall. What's left might be small, but it's real. That's the world Lily and I live in now. And it's enough. So here's where I land. I'm Avery, mom to Lily, and I chose peace over performance. I canceled the autopays, money and emotional, and the house got quiet. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just breakfast without dread. A front door that doesn't make your heart stutter. A kid who finally sleeps with the lamp off. Do I still feel grief? Yeah. I grieve the version of family I begged to exist. I grieve the girl who thought love equals paying the bill. And I keep a soft spot for the people they could have been while protecting the life I'm actually building. Tell me honestly, am I in the wrong? Was cutting Jack off and shutting the door on Carol and Dean cruel? Or finally fair? If this were your child's face, your paycheck, your sanity, what line would you draw? My lesson: boundaries aren't walls, they're doors you control. You can wish people well and still keep them outside until they show up with accountability, not excuses. Love without self-respect is just a long invoice. If this hit a nerve, tap like so it finds someone who needs it. Drop your take in the comments. What boundary are you setting this week? And if you want more real talk about choosing peace, hit subscribe and share this with the friend who keeps apologizing for saying no.